Hey geeks, do you love comics, collectibles, and TCG? Well, here at Cardboard Cave, we have the place for you. Pass by Kapitan Granuja Comics and Games and find all your favorite geeky items there. Look for them at Facebook or Instagram or call them at 787-659-7003. A store blessed by Nicole Bolas. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Cardboard Cave MTG. We are sorry that last week we couldn't do our episode due to some, I would say, scheduling issues and as well light issues. That night we were already set to go live, but then some of us had issues with the light, like we have been having these couple of weeks here in Puerto Rico. Sadly, well, we have a new light company, and it is what it is, guys, but we are still here to give you great content. So like every day that I say, remember, you guys can go ahead in the top. If you're on Facebook, you can go ahead on the top, and if you're on YouTube, down below in the description, you can go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just clicking that link, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of our Facebook lives are there, and as well future new content that we're going to be making. We are literally every day, not every day, but the times that we can talk, we go ahead. Me and the crew have thought about a lot of great ideas for you guys in regards to giving you a lot of good content to see if we can go keep growing to give you amazing, better content for all of you as well. If you guys like to listen to audio format, go to your favorite platform. It could be Spotify, Apple TV, anyone that you think. You guys can go ahead and look for us as Cardboard Cave MTG. The latest episode is already live. That's episode 23, where we talk about the Forgotten Realms spoilers. So tonight, at no further ado, I'm going to be presenting our two hosts. Sadly, Chris is not going to be with us. He is right now playing Sealed. I think if I'm not mistaken, he is in Florida playing the set already, because tonight is the pre-release. So remember, if you guys are looking for Forgotten Realms items, go ahead and go to Capitan Granuja's Comics and Games in Facebook and in TCG Player, like that you guys can get your items tonight online or on their Facebook page. So no further ado, I will be presenting our host right now, the one and only, the one that has made like a bajillion movies that we've mentioned before, Emmy, Oscar, Tony, I don't know how many awards he has done or gotten, is the one and only Alejandro Orengo.
Oh, I froze again.
You
I'm
frozen.
here? Oh, give me
You're
a second.
here.
I'm frozen? Why am I frozen?
Oh
F?
no.
Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm frozen. Give me a second.
No,
I'm
no, no
I'm
problem.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But I'm
You
just
good?
I guess the OBS never opened up.
Never.
Oh, failure to start output. Anything I need to get out and come back in. I was just gonna say I've made no I have no Oscars, I have no Emmys and no Tonys, and clearly no budget. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
No problem. And then the one and only, the master of cube, that literally if you have any questions on building a cube, or you have any questions in regards of combos for CDH or anything regards of Magic the Gathering, go ahead and talk to our one and only master, JP.
Uh, on now we can't experience the beautiful face of Orengo. Oh, there he
There
is.
you
There he
go.
is. There he
There you go.
I
is.
told you I screwed up. I screwed up a little bit. I was messing too much with the
Oh,
OBS because
no,
my
no,
wall
no.
is not green, so I
Now,
need
now,
to fix that.
now you're just chilling in the ocean.
You're
Yeah, the
chilling
thing
in
is,
the ocean.
the wall is not green anymore. It's like a blue gray. So I've been trying to. I literally downloaded an app. It's a color picker, but of course, the camera is not like 100% faithful to the color. So I was like, okay, this is the color, right? Okay, I put it in OBS, and it's like that's not the color. And then it turned me like fully gray. So I'm still tweaking it. So hopefully by the next podcast, I'll have this better. Because see, you can see my outline and stuff. It looks a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, work in progress.
Work in progress, and again, like I want to mention to our viewers that at least we have already gotten one plan in motion That is that for the future set, that I don't remember what's the name of the future set, but for the
Next
future
set is
set,
the vampires and werewolves.
the
Mhm.
vampires and werewolves. So in the next set, if it does make any changes in the standard meta, or there's brews with these cards, we will be trying to see if we can play any type of brews that we see on untap, like that. You guys can go ahead and see how these decks work. You know, due to that, some of us are in different towns, and COVID is still in motion. I know that there's the vaccine. I know that people right now are going crazy without their masks, but at least here in Cardboard Cave, we want to take care of each other. So we still haven't planned future podcasts in person. So
Mhm.
we want to maintain regulations just in case. You know, COVID is still not over, guys.
Yeah.
But guys, so this new set has come out, and not only that, it has literally I would say bring a lot of players back to Magic. It has brought the community once again to make a lot of type of brews in the meta.
Uh,
Some
on
Yeah,
it's impacted standard quite a bit
Yeah.
compared to other
yeah,
sets. It's actually quite surprising that the core set
Yeah.
is the one that actually impacted standard.
no, yeah. It's like oh, what was it called? Throne of Eldraine. Throne of Eldraine was that other set that made standard like
The cancer that
horrible.
it is. Yes.
Exactly. It made it the cancer that it is, you
Yeah.
know.
To the
But
extent that currently there's a new format in Arena. It's just Magic 2022. It just
Hmm.
doesn't include any of those Eldraine cards.
Yeah.
yeah,
Almost by necessity because it's just too much.
I actually gotta say that I played the event that they had that was just to test out like these pre-made decks in Arena for the new set, and I
Mm.
had a lot of fun with the whole venture mechanic and everything. I was speaking to Orengo in the afternoon. I told him like I don't remember the name of the card. God dang it! It's the He's one black and a 2/5/5 zombie wizard. He's one of
Azarak.
the
That's right.
Azarak. Yes, Azarak. I love that card so much.
There's
I'm like Orengo. That Tazri commander
Yeah.
that I want to build. I need to have that card in it.
okay. So
Yeah.
there's already combos with it in Legacy.
Yeah.
You play a Lauren, which is a 2 green for an enchantment, and it reads that any player can just play 3 costed or less creatures for free, and as flash. And since he returns himself back to your hand, unless you've completed Tomb of Annihilation,
Hmm.
you just never complete Tomb of Annihilation, and you just go wee, just bouncing him and playing him and bouncing him and playing him. You're probably gonna do Dungeon of the Mad Mage. That's
Yeah.
the one that's gonna draw you 3 cards and you play something for free.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
It's insane.
yeah.
But
That's
even in
uh,
insane.
EDH, you can do it too. You can
yes, you
do
can
a deck.
you can do a Lurin, but you could also do Rooftop Storm
Oh,
because he
true.
happens to be a zombie,
True. True. Yeah.
and Rooftop Storm makes it zombies cost 0.
Yeah, that's true. You're sticking a Demir zombie deck, which there's a couple of really good Demir zombies in there. But it's actually more of an interesting challenge if you just have him as a commander. And try to make the combo with mono black, which is doable, but there's far less cards that interact with it. There's like
I
4 or 5, I think. I saw an EDH rec earlier today because John was like, "Oh, I want to make it." I'm like, "John, you can break that card. You don't need to limit yourself, buddy."
So on the top of my head,
Yeah.
I think like Erratic Portal, it's bouncing back. You get
Nobody bounces himself. There's cards that give discounts. There's a creature that says creatures you control cost 2 less to cast, and they have -1/-1.
it's
So if you
enchantment.
have a way to basically,
I know Carnival of Souls.
there you go.
So Carnival of Souls reads it's one of my favorite pet cards. I try to stick it everywhere, and I always end up cutting it down because it's
Yeah.
just it's a great card, but you usually kill yourself if you play
Yeah.
that card.
Yeah.
So Carnival of Souls reads it's 1 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever a creature, this is the key part. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you lose a life and make a black.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
if your commanders cost 2 less, he just costs a black. So you play him once
That's it.
and just keep on doing it. Problem is, you kind of start losing life every single time.
Whee! Yeah.
And if you,
That's the issue right there.
the second issue is if
Oh.
you don't win and you pass,
Mhm.
Carnival of Souls reads whenever a creature, doesn't have to be a creature you control.
Mhm.
So if someone's playing tokens and just makes 10 tokens, you just lost 10 life. You made
Yeah.
10 mana, but you just lost 10 life.
But think about
Damn.
this: isn't there a dungeon that gives you life, and how much life does that give you? Because I don't remember.
I think the
One?
second dungeon. I think
What
the
They
is it?
all
Just
second
one?
dungeon.
like
There's
no
one of the dungeons that
they-
does give you life. You
Dungeon of
gain
the
one,
Man.
and
No,
the opponent loses
Dungeon of the
one.
Man Mage gains you 1 life.
Okay,
And
so you offset one at least.
and then later on, I think like in the fifth room, it's like 3 life. I think.
It basically offsets a lot of it, a lot of the damage you're gonna get from Carnival of Souls. It offsets.
Eh,
It offsets
You'd be
four
surprised how
of the
many times I've
7,
died to my own Carnival.
but it
Souls.
offsets 4 of the 7 damage you're gonna take because it's 7 levels.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
offsetting 4 damage out of 7, you're gonna be
Mhm.
weeing so much. You're gonna go basically through your whole deck, and people are gonna hate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another
Definitely.
another thing is you're casting it. So if you have
True.
something like an Aetherflux Reservoir, you just win.
There you
That's a
go. You
win.
just win faster. Yeah, you just win
Wait,
faster.
doesn't Aetherflux Reservoir give you another life?
You know, it gives you 1 life for each other spell you've cast this
So yeah,
turn.
yeah,
So
it gives you
you get
Oh.
one
you get
life, then 2 life, then 3 life,
and
then
four,
4 life,
five.
then 5 life,
Yeah.
and you can
Okay.
stack it.
Yep.
So if you cast it in response to the trigger, you cast it again, and in response to the trigger, you keep on casting it because something with a Lurin or something like that.
Mhm.
You can gain, I think, like depending on the amount of times you stacked it. Let's say I stacked it 10 times, you just gain 30 life.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I
beautiful
dig it.
cancer right there. It's
So instead
beautiful.
of
Yes.
going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you just gain 30 life.
Yep. You want
That
to
is like
venture? You're gonna venture.
yeah, that's the type of card that when you do let's say my commander, I want it to be Tazri. So people that do not know the commander, let's just say that we go to a play group, all the 4 of us, and then we're like, hey, let's add 2 more people. Only you 3 know what's inside the commander, and
Yeah.
you guys know what's gonna happen when that card comes out and with the combo.
Mhm.
Like if the other 2 don't know, it's like, oh well, there goes John doing his loop and going nuts, going crazy. But before we continue with the first topic, I wanna highlight a recent Commander um, show that I'm watching. It's not a podcast; it's an actual channel that they. The only thing that they do is like they invite people and they play Commander, and
Is
it could
is it
CDH.
is it I
Ooh.
hate your deck?
Yes, it's I hate your deck.
Okay.
I
I found them recently too. Are they
yeah,
new?
I found them recently as well. I've been seeing them because like I'm working from home, so what I do is that I have my computer with the show in mute, so I just let it run. Like,
Mhm.
and occasionally I just look at it and see what plays they're doing. But it's really interesting because they are sponsored by Dragon Shield, and it's like the first Magic the Gathering content that I see that they're sponsored by Dragon Shield. And
Oh.
and it's really cool because Dragon Shield even do their sleeves because you can do custom sleeves with Dragon Shield. I think it's on their website, but it's really cool because I think in like 3 of the episodes that I saw, like one behind the other one, uh, the first match lasts like 10 minutes because they combo off. Like,
Okay.
oh well, I do this, I go infinite, I kill you, I kill you, I kill you, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
Out of the recent things I enjoy about that show is that they first sit down and they discuss Rule Zero.
Mm.
What power level are we playing?
Yeah.
Immediately. Okay. So there's an episode with the professor,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it gives you an idea of how what the power level people think their deck is and what it actually is. So they say, oh, let's play this like a 7 to 8 because one of them wants to play Belby. and Belby can be quite fast,
Mhm.
but it's not like he's not doing not anything oppressive. It's just really fast. And everyone else just one of them is playing the Enchantress deck. One is playing Lonus Cryptozoologist, and the professor's playing Tesa.
Mm-hmm.
The Tesa combo. Yeah,
Yeah.
the professor got outclassed extremely fast.
Okay.
The Lonus deck had an Urza with a Keenan, the Prodigy that doubles your mana, and he just went off infinite mana out of nowhere, and he's like, yeah, maybe. Like it was like turn 4, turn 5,
That's a
Yeah.
seven.
and yeah, that was a 7 for them.
Going infinite is a seven.
And no, the professor also had an infinite combo,
Okay,
and
going seven. Okay, power level seven with an Urza and a Kinnan. Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it was like turn 4, and he had just played his Tesa,
Yeah.
and then he just loses.
Great.
And like, yes, this is a 7.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah,
Like
I
It's
remember.
not a seven.
you understand the differences of the power levels and how
Yeah.
everyone just views the power levels differently.
Very
They played
differently.
they played the same game again, another game, and they just ran it back. And I forgot I don't remember who won,
I don't
but
remember who won.
I know that everyone got to play their stuff actually,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it was a more balanced game.
One of the other thing that I liked about the this show is that they have like special rules. One of them is if you have 3 take backseat counters, you lose automatically.
Oh, that's cool. I dig that.
I take that back.
Yes, like
That's
That's a good one.
strike number 1.
exactly.
And
So there was this one of the cast members, he made a play. So he took back the artifact and the land, and they were like, "That's 2 take backseat counters, man. So one more and you down, you dead." And
Damn.
I'm like, wow, shit. I like that because there's a lot
I'm,
of
I'm pretty sure
times.
I'm pretty sure they were just joking, but it's actually quite.
No, actually,
It's reasonable.
they put him a dice.
Mhm.
Oh my!
They put
Wow.
him a dice like you have 2 take backseat counters. Like they take it like I
Yeah.
want to like sit down and enjoy every episode to see like what other special rules they have
Mhm.
in regards to when they play Commander, because this should be really cool to have like special rules. Like I don't remember you guys remember in game nights that they played the Cube Commander one, that each some of the commanders had like
Additional colors.
Yeah.
additional colors or additional rulings depending on like what you draft.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that if you can sit down with your friends or with your play group and just like, hey, look, we can put some special rules like in the play group, like that you can enjoy the game a little bit better or make it a little bit more challenging. You
Yeah.
know, it should be really cool. So let's go to our first topic of tonight. This week has been really interesting because a couple of cards got banned.
Mhm.
It's really interesting that one card got like uber banned because people were already tired of what this card does, and then the other one got banned and the set has not yet to be released. So the cards that we're talking about are these two beautiful cards, that it's Hull Breacher and the Book of Exalted Deeds. So let's go ahead and read Hull Breacher. Hull Breacher is a blue and a 2 creature Morfolk pirate 3/2 that has flash, and it has this effect. If an opponent would draw a card, except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. The next card is the Book of Exalted Deeds. That's a one of the legendary artifacts that is gonna be coming out. I think it's next week in the new set
Mhm.
that you can play in your pre-release at your local game store tonight, if you are in an LGS tonight. So it's a 3 white legendary artifact that says in the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying. The other effect is that you pay 3 white, tap, exile the Book of Exalted Deeds, put an enlightened counter on target angel, it gains. You can't lose the game, and your opponent can win the game. Activate only as a sorcery.
So
So this is really interesting. I did not understand before JP continues. I didn't understand why was the reason for the book of exalted deeds until I sat down and read an article before the show, and
Yeah.
I saw the magical combo with the faceless haven legendary land. I mean, I was like, oh, it makes all sense now. It
think
makes all sense.
yeah, I think I have a spicy take for the Book of Exalted Deeds.
Okay.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah. So one, it's only banned in Arena
Mm-hmm.
for the format of 2022. So it's not banned in the rest of Arena, and it's not banned in anywhere else. It's just
Yeah.
banned specifically in that.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the little spicy thing. I don't think. Well, before that, I don't think that it's really that broken. Uh,
Okay.
and the real spicy thing is there. So there is land destruction, or land removal in the format. There
Not in
is.
2022.
There's a. I'm pretty sure. I'm like almost.
Field of Ruin, I think, in Cayman Theros,
I'm gonna go
which
for
is the
the wait.
problem.
Builder Ruin, yeah, it came back in Theros.
Which in 2022 means that there isn't land destruction unless you play janky red commons that
Mm-hmm.
probably cost 5 mana, which you could, but then you are creating a problem that doesn't need to be created.
I was like, unless I'm thinking of a card that came out in
Call
no,
time.
yeah, cleansing wildfire. One in a
Okay.
red, destroy target land. Its controller may search the library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, tap, then shuffle their library.
I get
Draw
you.
a card.
I get
No,
you.
it's like it's there. Like I understand. It's red.
Mhm.
Not everyone has
Yeah.
access to the color if you're playing different decks. But it's there. The spicy take is I feel like Field of Ruin should be evergreen.
I agree. That's not a spicy
So,
take. It should
not
be
spicy.
because this is the second time
That
Wizards has to
a land
becomes
becomes a
a
problem.
problem.
Field of Ruin, not Field of Ruin, Field of the Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the
That
second
was a
time. They should
problem.
know better. They should know better. They should be an evergreen. I totally agree.
So
Yes.
a little against this was oh, you're gonna make the lands a bit homogenous for standard. It's like
No.
that's
No.
it's not a problem because then you would have two evergreen lands, which would be Fable Passage
Yeah.
and Field of Ruin, and I feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
a lot of people would be like, okay, if you're using those lands as evergreen, then what's stopping from other cards from becoming evergreen? Eventually, the format becomes homogeneous. By the way, I'm using this theorem, this thought process, the same way people say about Commander how it's become homogeneous.
Yeah. I know. What
And
you
so,
mean.
if you keep adding more staples that keep on being forever present in standard, oh, it's gonna become like this homogeneous format. And I was like, but these cards are good for the format.
Exactly. It's like
It's Field of
I mean,
Ruin is fair
Yeah.
land destruction,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for removing pesky lands that are annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's only when you combine it with something else, and usually those cards that you combine it with them aren't in standard. Those are in modern, legacy, plus, like
Mhm.
not in standard. So it as long as they're like they have that in mind, then maybe lands won't be a problem. But it's a problem right now. So I guess this is the way. I don't understand why they can't just emergency print something.
Because these sets are made in advance. But I am assuming that probably Field of Ruin will probably come if it's not in the Innistrad set. It'll be somewhere soon, because
Yeah.
they do have a tendency of repeating it every other cycle. Like when Field of the Dead became a problem, is because Field of Ruin wasn't available in that moment, but then it
But then
became
it,
available.
but then they just didn't unban it anyways.
Yeah. True. But I'm just saying, yeah, that's yeah, it should be like an evergreen. There are evergreen cards. I know that people don't like that
Apparently,
because how
shock is legal.
yeah,
So
exactly.
like,
Negate, you know,
yeah,
there's a couple that are always there, or variations. There's always like a fight card. There's always
Mm-hmm.
a type of card that in green destroys enchantments or artifacts or both, or they do three
I
things
mean,
at once.
Yeah.
there's like two of them that do three
I
things right
know, I
now.
know exactly because
Yeah.
they keep adding more to green, but but there's always variations on these cards. So having Field of Ruin, it's a good thing. There's only four ofs. I mean, it's not like you can go nuts with it.
It's a
It's
colorless
standard.
land, anyways.
Yeah, it's a colorless land. It's a utility land. Utility lands are not bad. And every other set always has like weird ass utility lands, like either
Mm-hmm.
creature lands, like right now in D&D, or like in the past few sets we had the castle lands, the ones that
Oh
scry
yeah.
or draw cards. Like eventually, you can only destroy so much. So having these lands that destroy other lands, those utility lands, is a good thing because then you turn into this problem where you don't have an answer when something slips through the cracks. Because I don't know if they thought that this would happen or not. Maybe they did. Maybe, like I said, an Innistrad will
Okay,
put Frill to Ruin and they'll be fine.
they
You know,
they they banned it not because it's strong, but
no,
because it's annoying.
yeah, I know.
This,
Well,
that,
it's not strong
Control
because
players
I
are
saw it.
annoying and they're not banned.
I saw like 10 new brews, and I saw a couple of decks trying to make this happen, and it happens,
it
but
happens. It
it
does.
doesn't happen
It-
all the time. It's not like
exactly.
super horrifying,
And
but
you have a window like, oh,
yeah,
you make faceless have been a creature,
you can
destroy it.
destroy the creature. Yeah, because that's sorcery speed. You can answer to it. There's a couple of ways to do this. The thing
Yeah.
is, in 2022 standard, there's no answer to it. That's exactly the problem. So I get why it had to be banned there. Like there's just,
But
just
like,
no
is
answer.
is is there no instant speed removal?
There is, but
Is
what
there
if you
no
don't have
artifact
it?
or
There
enchantment
is.
removal?
I think that there is, but
But having like a catch-all with the land, I think,
exactly.
is the thing that you're missing out on. Hence why Field of the Dead was such problematic card. Granted, it's not the same because it doesn't turn into a creature. It literally is just a land. Um, yeah, I feel like this is fine. It's not like a broken card, but since there's not a catch-all answer to this, and you need a catch-all answer because if they pull this off, you just can't win.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do have moments to answer it. With the Faceless Slave as a creature, you have moments. But what if you didn't have removal at that moment? And
Yeah,
this person accelerated the white mana, and then he had all the mana, and then turn four, oh, Faceless Haven and something else, and then I just turn in whatever, and then just fuck you. And then you're
Yeah.
screwed. You're screwed, and then you have no way to win because it's just literally, well, draw your deck or do whatever the hell you want. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat while you keep trying to play Magic on your own because you're gonna lose.
No, yeah,
I
it's
guess,
like
yeah.
it's like when remember that time in Hour of Devastation with the approach of the second sun, that there
Yeah.
was this always this issue that oh you countered the first one, not the second one, and then there was a very big confusion in which one you would counter because there were judges that would say no, you have to counter the first one, and then there was others
I
oh
still don't
no, but
understand which one you have to counter.
you have to
The
counter the
second.
first one.
Oh, the
Because
first one. Yeah, right.
yeah, you
Because
have
the
to
other one
counter the
doesn't
first one because the card states is as soon
cast.
as you cast
Yeah, it's
the
cast.
second
It's
one.
like an Ulamog. If you
Mm-hmm.
casted it, you won. Because the first
Exactly.
one already resolved. So, like in the deck, it knows that you already activated the first one. But if you stop the first one, the deck or the approach of the second sons that are left in your deck don't know that the first one has been activated yet.
Just counter all of
Exactly.
them.
Yeah, I know that ideally you want to counter all
Yeah,
of them.
the idea is counter all of them, but the thing is that I remember in that time in that block that it was a big issue because
Yeah.
judges did not know which one was the one that you had to counter. You know, you had an answer of differently. One judge would tell you, "Oh, it's the first one," and then there was another judge that might tell you, "No, it's the second one," and you would be confused. So give me 1 second, guys. So thank you for the follow, Jackson A690, and hello, welcome
Hey,
to
man.
Cardboard Cave podcast.
We're talking
Oh,
magic.
So
Okay,
Uh,
I would compare it more to
mhm.
way back when. I don't. It's like been like almost like 4 years. When Reflector Mage got banned in standard. It
You
was
mean in Shadow? I wait. What was it called?
Reflector, like it was before Shadows over
Yeah.
Innistrad.
They wait. Wait. I
That was
got it in my
Aether
hand.
Vault.
It was it
Uh,
if the rolled?
Around there. So, anyways, there's the Bant Flash deck. Basically, you just
Yeah.
collect the company and a few flash creatures
Yep.
like Spell Queller, and you just went off at instant speed with utility creatures and smacking face. And the card that got banned was Reflector Mage. Because
Yep.
Reflector Mage, when it
Okay.
enters,
So thank you very much, Jackson.
yeah,
That he saw the link in through promotion. Yeah. Is that I did get to put the Twitch my Twitch channel to through like a small promotion. So
Oh,
uh,
cool.
that's nice.
yeah, I was like, I needed to get the channel rolling again, like it was before. So, and I know that we do the podcast in my Twitch channel. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just give it a shot, see how it works.
Okay, so Reflector Mage got banned. That was like Banned Flash was like the premier deck at the moment.
Yeah.
But Reflector Mage got banned, and their reasoning was because it is unfun to play against, not because it's strong. Because at the moment it got banned, the deck was slowly losing power because a lot of other cards had rotated, and they had tried to replace the cards that rotated. So this Ban Flash lasted at least since the rotations at the moment in Standard were like going through an awkward stage where Standard was really, really, really big,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
extremely big. Like it had at least like 12 more sets.
How
Something
many?
it was something really strange while they were transitioning to how standard works right now. So there
Yeah.
was a lot of sets, and when a few of those sets left, they had to like replace a few cards, and then another few of those sets left, and they replaced a few cards. So the deck was lowering in power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When the deck was still like pretty top tier, but not the best. They banned Reflector Mage, and then it just kind of died.
Yeah.
And
You
it
know
was
what
because it was
other card?
unfun.
Mhm.
You know what other card I can remember off the top of my head that was another issue in regards of ruling. They didn't ban it, but they fixed the issue with the ruling was Ramonat Ruins.
Yeah.
Ramonop Ruins was
The It
The
was
the
the
land that
desert land, the red
doesn't have.
desert land that you would pay for, sacrifice a desert, and it was not target opponent. Each opponent will lose 2 life.
Yeah.
yeah
Each.
That card you could have paid the 4 and sacrificed the land to
itself.
continue the effect. Then, due to people saying, "Oh, the card is annoying, the card is broken," they changed the ruling that you cannot sacrifice the activated when you have to sacrifice another desert.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
remember because dang it, I had the name of the MTG player that was playing mono red by that time in Worlds. Thanks to that change of ruling, he
He
couldn't win the
lost.
last match. He lost because he only
True.
had that one Ramonat Ruins, but he had the 4 lands to activate the ability. But
I
due
don't
to the
understand.
ruling,
Like
yeah,
I'm looking at it.
it was an interesting time.
That's why they started including the ping land. There was a
Yeah,
desert that
yeah,
made colorless mana.
Sun Scorched Desert.
Yep. You would play it and would just ping an opponent for one, which
Hmm.
beneficial for red. But initially they weren't playing that because with Hazoret and that land, you didn't need the other land. It was like you were too fast already, so they had to.
Actually, in the version that at least in that time that I was playing standard, in my version I would run the four
No.
Sun Scorched
Okay.
lands.
7/14/2017. If a desert has an ability with a cost of sacrifice a desert, you can sacrifice that desert to pay the cost for its own ability.
The thing is, the judges didn't rule like that, and that's what got
Yeah,
him screwed over.
Okay.
Because you know what happens sometimes in those big events, the judges make a weird call
Oh, it was
and
one
they
of
make it
those.
on
Yeah.
the moment, and that's what screwed him
in
over. Because I
that
do remember that
world.
match. I do
Hmm.
remember that match. He literally lost because he's like, I can do this, and then they were like, no, you can't, and he's like,
You can't exactly
I guess I
in
fucking
that
lose.
whole in that whole event. that was like a new rule that they added in judging because people were tired that oh, I sacrificed Ramunat ruins
Or
and
maybe the judges were
win.
confused because sometimes those judges make a
Yeah.
weird call and they just keep it. Because I remember in Yu-Gi-Oh they used to do that sometimes too, where they make
Mhm.
weird calls in those YCSs or big events, and they just stick with it for the remainder of it. And then people will be like freaking out because like we know that it doesn't function like this.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this? But then it's just bad calls. Judges sometimes just make bad calls in these card
Yeah,
games,
it is true.
and it's
Like
detrimental. Detrimental.
just adding to the Yu-Gi-Oh portion. Like when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yeah.
there was this combo that I made in one of my decks. It was Tower of Babel with the barrel behind the door. So what I would do is chain link my Towers of Babel
Yeah.
to get to the 8,000 life points, and then use barrel behind the door and be like, oh no, I don't take damage. You take the
You
damage.
take the damage, yeah.
One judge told me because of the wording, the card does not work like that.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, what? That the card says it right there.
Yeah.
you
When I
know.
was very into Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of judges would make bad calls in the YCSs. Bad calls that when they used to write articles because there wasn't like streamings or anything. I read the articles, and then you would read the articles, and then you would see judges making bad calls in the article, and then the article would actually address that the judge made a bad call in the same article. That's how bad it was sometimes. But
There
since
was
it's
a
the
good
judge
time.
saying it in the
Yeah.
moment, he's like the final authority. And then the player could ask for another judge or whatever. But then there's
Yeah.
just some rule. They
There
just
was
bad
there
rulings.
was a time, guys. There was a time that even Wizard of the Coast had their own magazine
Oh, that's true.
with articles. Yes,
And
and
freebie cards.
and freebie cards. Yeah.
I think they gave you like one of them gave you like a mana drainer or mana crypt. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
and there was one that I forgot. It's the
It's
It's
one
very
that it's
expensive when you check it in TG Player. Yeah.
the one that is like a crater that's in the in the reserve list. I think it is.
There's probably a creator who no what is like a Gaia's Cradle.
No, the card is the one that is like a like a like a ball, and he's like dripping. I don't remember the name of the card. I know
Chaos
that's
Orb.
Chaos Orb. That one. One of the promos was a Chaos Orb.
Oh, that's cool. That's the
Well,
one
a
that you
long
like
time
break
ago.
into
A
a
long
thousand
time
pieces, right?
ago.
Like the one that you like supposed to rip into pieces.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
So we've been talking about bad calls, but you know what isn't a bad call?
Oh,
Banning
Wait.
Hull Breacher.
Reading. So here's reading the card explains the card.
I know.
Thank you,
We know.
Gunny. Yeah,
that
we
would,
know.
that would be true, except bad calls. Because what?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's that bad calls. That's
Well,
the issue.
Hull
You know.
Breacher is banning Hull Breacher is not a bad call.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read Hull Breacher again for everybody that's going in again, coming in. So Hull Breacher again is a blue N2, creature merfolk pirate, flash, and it says if an opponent would draw a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token, and it's a 3/2.
So
So why do you say, JP, that this was a bad call?
No,
this
that's a
was
good
not
call.
a bad call. It's a good
Oh,
call.
this was not a bad call.
This
Okay.
is a problem card as soon as it entered the format. So the card you compare this to is Notion Thief. Notion Thief reads the same way, but instead of making you treasures, you just draw the cards your opponents would have drawn.
Yep.
The detail with the good deck making is that if you draw more cards, you just have more cards. But if you draw more cards and then you have the mana to play them, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yep.
So if you make your deck right, let's say you have Hull Breacher out, you cast a wheel, everyone discards their hand, draw 7. Oh wait, no, they don't draw 7. You create 21 treasures, and you just drew 7 cards. So you just play those cards.
Yep.
Generally speaking, you just discarded their hand, made mana, and drew more cards.
Dang it! Why didn't I
And
think
it's
about
flash.
this cards
Yeah,
for
flash
gold?
too.
Also, yeah, it's flash. And then
Which
the second thing is if you make your deck right, you can just keep on doing something like this over and over and over deck. Before this got banned, I was just messing around with the theory crafting of blue black deck, And I just, well, I guess the way this deck wins is by decking itself. Might as well just prevent my opponent from drawing, and I just sticked Paul Breacher in. I put like Notion Thief and all those cards, and it was a lot more consistent once Paul Breacher got in play.
Yeah.
Uh, this effect is very similar to Smothering Tide. Now there's a very big difference. One, Smothering Tide isn't in white. That's a huge difference. But it doesn't have flash, and it's preventable since
Yeah.
you can pay 2 mana.
People can
Of
still
course,
draw their cards. You're not preventing them from
so
getting their cards.
if
But
you
what
cast a
can
wheel,
Mhm.
let's say that everyone's tapped out. You cast a wheel, discard. Everyone discards their hand, draws 7. So now they have 7 cards in hand. You still make basically 21 treasures, and you still drew like your 7 lands. There's your 7 cards, so you can keep playing stuff. But they have cards in their hand. They could react with, I don't know, any type of counter magic, removal. They still have cards to play during their next turn.
Mhm.
They,
T
the reason
Crown 28 says, hey man,
the reason I feel like Notion Thief is fine is because you're just drawing more cards, and you don't have the mana to keep playing. The mana is a restriction.
wouldn't
But
you compare Hull Breacher more with the Nars set?
The problem with Narset is
no, I wouldn't.
they only lose the cards in hand, but it's like JP says, it goes back to the thing that you don't have mana to play. Well, I'm sorry. You do have the mana to play, but Narset is no, wait, I'm sorry.
No, you don't have the
Narset,
mana.
no, exactly. You don't have the mana. That's exactly the difference. The whole breacher
Like,
comes in with flash, so you can
Mhm.
flash it in when everyone's tapped out. You untap. You still have 3 mana because obviously you played whole breacher. You can play a windfall or
Yeah.
basically any equivalent of a windfall, and then you screw everyone else. 21 mana, 7 new cards. People are pissed at you, and you get to just play Magic while everyone else is not playing Magic.
Let me tell
Nars
you-
said the difference is you will draw those cards. They will draw only one each, but they you don't have mana to play everything. That's the difference.
the mana, the
And
mana production
Narset,
is the problem.
yeah, and Narset can be destroyed. It comes at sorcery speed. You can do so many things, man.
You can attack her,
Okay.
destroy planeswalkers, exile, bounce. There's just different ways.
So T Crown says that he passed by because he saw the promotion. Thank you very
Awesome,
much.
man.
Then he's
Thanks.
like, when next are you streaming, man? So next stream will be next. Oh, we do our podcast every Friday
Every Friday.
at 9:30.
Yes, sir.
And I do my live streams in the Twitch channel every Wednesday. So, and what we're trying to do here, trying to do for the future is that on some Wednesdays, we will be doing content for both pages. So we will be doing content in the Twitch channel plus in our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like that, we can play some Commander or test out some decks from the standard format or modern with of Magic the Gathering. So that's what we're trying to do. But our podcast is every Friday at 9:30 p.m. We have not recently put in out what we talk about during the week, but we are going to get back at that again, putting the topics beforehand, like that you guys can know what we're going to be talking about, talking about the Magic the Gathering community.
Mhm.
Right now, we're talking about the cards that were banned. That are these two that are whoops, wrong one. That are these two that are right here next to us, and then we're going to be talking about Commander, the new
Yeah.
commanders that came out.
I'm the filthy blue player, but I still think that banning Whole Breacher honestly was the right call.
But,
Some people have debated the whole thing about like, oh, let's ban all the wheels instead and let Whole Breacher exist. And I'm like, no, because you're banning a bunch of cards that are fun to play. Yes, they're annoying, but still people get to play Magic.
uh,
Unless
Yes.
you use them in conjunction with like a Notion Thief or a Narset, and even then, again, not the same issue as a Hull Breacher. Hull Breacher is too oppressive. Hull Breacher's effect never ends. It doesn't say until end of turn. It just keeps going. So even after you screwed everyone at the table, they are still screwed because you can keep wheeling them, and it's gonna
Yeah.
keep happening. There's just too many upsides to playing Hull Breacher, and it's one color, 3 mana. You can
And
play it in
Flash.
so many colors. It has a lot of versatility. I get the whole idea of interaction. Just play more interaction. Stop being like a little Timmy and play stuff you can interact with your opponent. Don't be the stupid player that just tries to do their own little thing and don't interact with the table. But to that I say there's just some people who like to do that. And then having to deal with this kind of like weirdly oppressive card, it's kind of annoying at a casual table. In a competitive scenario, like if we had separate ban lists, I think this is fine in a competitive scenario because they have so much more interaction. They have like 1,000 cover spells that cost 0, so they can definitely stop this kind of thing. But in a casual table, in the table, in like
In a
in the
play group.
rules, yeah, in the play group, in the ban list that is created basically for casuals, um, it sucks if you're the one that has the whole breacher and then you screw everyone else because everyone's not playing on that level. And
Correct.
even if it's intermediate, like it's too good. It's like JP said, "Oh, I'm making this new deck. It's like whole breacher's so good. I'm just gonna stick it in," and it literally made it more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too good. It's too good.
Yeah, it is because let's put it this side. Let's say me, the Super Friends commander player, I can remove Summer Smothering Tithe, put Hull Breacher, and maybe 2 wheels, and there you go. I got a bunch of mana,
Just have both.
or both, exactly, or both,
Just have
and
both,
let
man.
people cry.
Yeah.
I'll just play the safe version of Smothering Tide and Wheel of Fortune. That's the
Yeah,
safe version.
the same version, the
My
expensive
my
one too.
my Osgear, like, yeah, but I happen to have that one card.
Okay.
But I put Reforge the Soul and Wheel of Misfortune as well. The
Nice.
real the real expensive one is the Memory Jar.
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't have that one. That one's expensive.
yeah. That one got went up in
Like
price during
like
the pandemic, I believe.
yeah, during the pandemic, because
Yeah.
that's when Wheel of Fortune got up, because I got it for like a fraction of the cost of what it's worth right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's
So
mostly the mana production. That's mostly the problem of
Yeah.
the whole feature.
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so guys, so going. Oh, give me a second. So Chris sent us a
It's
picture.
it's an arena code. It's fine. Just
Oh,
keep
it's
going.
gonna read. Oh, he says it's for the stream.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, let me go ahead and see. Let me go ahead and download it. Like that, we
Sure.
can go ahead and add it in a second.
I mean, let me help you. While you're doing that, I'm just gonna stick on the commanders.
Yeah,
Okay.
go
So
ahead.
these are the 4 new commanders. Let me put it full screen. JP, you want to read them?
Okay, it's Vrondis, Rage of Ancients. He's a 3 red green, so 5 mana for a legendary creature, Dragon Barbarian. So 5/4. He has the Enrage ability. Whenever Vrondis, Rage of Ancients is dealt damage, you may create a 5/4 red and green dragon spirit creature token with, when this creature deals damage, sacrifice it.
Yep.
Whenever you roll one or more dice, you may have Vrondis deal 1 damage to itself.
Yep.
Okay, this is like. Do you want to discuss each of them individually, or should I just read them all?
Um,
Let's just
read them all. Yeah.
okay. There's Galia, Kindler of Hope. She's 1 green, white, and a blue, so 4 mana for a 4/4.
Yep.
My
That we
bad.
don't know.
Sorry.
Okay.
Legendary creature Elf Knight. She has Vigilance. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast aura and equipment spells from the top of your library. When you cast an equipment spell this way, it gains when this equipment enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control.
Beautiful.
Then there's Zephyrus of the Hidden Ways. You get a white, blue, and black for a 2/3 legendary creature human wizard. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then she has a Create Undead. Whenever you complete a dungeon, you return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Mhm.
Then we have Prosper Tomebound. 2 black and a red for a 1/4 legendary creature Tiefling Warlock, Death Touch. He has Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. And he has Packed Bone. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token.
Okay.
So it's all four. So two of them have two colors, two of them has three colors.
Yes.
Uh,
I'll,
Okay,
General
so
okay.
thoughts.
Okay.
before we go with the general thoughts, I'm gonna put this here a second. Let
There
me
you go.
see if I can
Make it bigger.
make it bigger, and as well, I will be adding the code in the chat like that. Whoever picks it in any of the three platforms, the first one gets the, I think it's six booster packs from Forgotten Realms in
Yes.
MTG Arena. So grab the code, enjoy it, and go ahead and start venturing some dungeons. This is thanks to Chris. He's not here with us, but at least he's here within his soul.
Here in spirit.
Okay. Well,
Here
general
in
thoughts. Okay.
spirit.
So I think that three of them have the potential to be pretty good commanders. I think only one of them kind of falters, and it falters because of the thing I usually complain about these new commanders that they put in these standard sets. It's when they are linked to the mechanic of the set. And the Sephiroth of the Hidden Ways is the one that I do not like at all because it has to rely on the venture mechanic. Granted, it doesn't need anything else. It works on its own because whenever one or more creatures enter the battlefield, you anywhere you venture into a dungeon, and when you complete a dungeon, you reanimate something. That's pretty cool. You can do a quick venturing into like the tomb. So it's 3 levels, and then you get to reanimate something, or you can take the long route, venture 7 times, and then reanimate something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like I think for those colors, it's fitting for those colors. But I feel the other three have more interesting things going on. The Gruel one, it's cool because it has an enrage ability. It's very Gruel. It's very aggressive. There are red cards that ping creatures and do extra things. It's very Timmy in the way it's designed. Like if you are someone who just wants to make a bunch of dragons and go nuts with it. And I think these dragons, oh, it's a dragon spirit. Okay, cool. And then you can just go nuts with it, ping them all around. Um, it's fun. It's very Timmy in that regard. Gallia, it's a weak version of what Bant can do with aura and equipments, but it's another approach to it. I feel like it's good in a 99. I don't think it's good as a commander. You might stick this in a Tuasa deck and it's gonna go insane. You could stick it like as the commander and just have a bunch of equipments in the deck. Just have like all the swords and have a bunch of cool equipments and basically just um, if you have a bunch of mana, which you can easily do in green, and you can probably go infinite with it. Just be casting like crazy from the top of your deck and then just stick all the swords and then just swing and win. It's very cool. But the most interesting one is the Rakdos one. The idea of exiling a card in the end of turn, and on your next turn you can cast it. Whenever you cast it, you create a creature token that opens a whole bag of
Treasure.
worms. Treasure. It opens up a lot of bag of worms in terms of design space because there's a lot of cards in specifically these colors that get exiled. And they get exiled, you can cast them later because the card says so or whatever, but now you're adding a treasure token to it. So you're ramping in colors which are not easy to ramp into so that you can keep playing more and more stuff. Like I believe madness cards go into exile. So if you're
Yes.
casting
Yes.
madness cards, every madness card that you cast, you're getting a free token, a free treasure token with it. That's just the first basic thing. There's a
And
lot of red.
there's a lot of cheap ones as well, like light up the stage.
Yep, exactly. So when you're casting stuff from exile, there's a bunch of red cards that do just that. Itali, there's a bunch of cards. So this one is like the most interesting in terms of what Rakdos can do. Because you're ramping, you're doing crazy shenanigans in those colors. I think it's the most interesting one. And I don't play Rakdos usually. I just have the Ajani, no, the
And
vampire one.
Angie.
Angie, which I love because it's Rakdos draw. That's all you do. You just draw. You don't win, except you have like one combo, and then when you don't do it, you lose. But I love the idea of Rakdos drawing like a maniac. It seems like a crazy concept to me, and I loved it. That's why I bought into the deck and I tweaked it to make it like even faster. But this one is another interesting approach to Rakdos. So yeah, I feel like this is the most interesting one. Set freeze, it's cool, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Oh
I
my
feel
god,
like
this is interesting. So for the Rakdos one, even because it says that whenever you play a card from exile, right?
Yeah,
Robber of the rich.
yeah,
You
it's
steal the card from your
yeah,
opponent and you play it from exile.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of red cards and probably black cards that I'm not thinking of right now, but there's a bunch of red cards that make you cast stuff from exile. There's a bunch of them. So
Gonti, Lord of Luxury.
oh right, Gaunty. Oh my god, I forgot about Gaunty. It's really good. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. There's a bunch of really good cards in those colors
There's
that
a
synergize.
there's a bad one. It's called Treasure Trove. It's like 7 mana,
Oh yeah.
5 black for a enchantment. When it enters, you exile an opponent's graveyard, and then you can start casting that from the basically exile from there.
But that one, even if it's bad because it's 7 mana, it's
It
really
yeah,
freaking good with that.
exactly, because you start generating even more mana.
Mhm.
And Treasure Trove was from the time where exiling from anywhere and then casting your opponent's stuff didn't say you can spend any mana to cast it. So your own commander helps you cast those stuff.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So not my opinion is, I feel like you undervalue Sephrys a bit,
Okay.
but she is the weakest. You are correct in that.
Yeah.
My favorite is obviously Prosper, but I really like Vrondis.
Yeah.
So-
He's a great teaming commander.
So you say Timmy until I make infinite 5/4s and smack you in the face out of nowhere.
that sounds like a teaming thing to me.
I gotta say, I gotta say,
Uh,
one of the things, in my opinion, of these commanders, I'm gonna look for some information now. So, commander decks right now are going for $40
alright.
depending on your LGS. So it could be 40. Right now in TCG player, the commanders are going 45 to almost $50
Hmm.
a commander. But I got to say something really interesting. I saw the deck list on each one, and I always go to the lands because I always like to see what they do. Did they add the same lands that they added on the previous commanders, or did they put something more spicy?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because in these commanders, there's a lot of
Good
dual
lands.
lands, and they're
Yeah, there's good lands. Yeah.
good lands. And it's really interesting that in these commanders we at least got certain value. I'm not going to say monetary value, but as a player that wants to start commander, you can actually buy one of these
Mhm.
and start good. If you really want to, like, I could say that you can go to YouTube right now and you can find videos or articles of creators saying, "Oh, with $50, you can make this commander way better."
Yeah.
My favorite one, personally, I like Rondis and obviously Prosper. I love
I think
Prosper.
everyone can agree that those are the two best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
okay, I really want to talk about Rondis.
Go ahead.
The deck includes heroic intervention.
Oh, somebody
It,
got the code.
Oh,
Wait,
awesome.
nice.
let me put us in threes. And yeah, Jose Angel Pagan Lopez says, thanks for the arena code redeemed. I never miss your podcast.
There you
Oh,
go.
thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Okay, Rondis. Like it brings heroic intervention, but one of the few upgrades you could Dark Steel Plate. It's 3 mana for an indestructible artifact that you pay 2 to equip it to a creature, and that creature becomes indestructible.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have heroic intervention. That's one. Something like
Oh,
Dark Steel
wait.
Plate. So this anything with a token doubler, you're in
Mhm.
green. So
Which
you have
commander are you talking about?
Rondis right now. Rondis, the red green one.
Yep.
Red green? There
Red
you
green,
go.
yeah. So that one includes heroic intervention. It does not include
Where is heroic
what's his
intervention?
face. Uh, Actually, heroic is heroic intervention in the no,
I
yeah,
think
heroic.
it's not in
It's in
this one. I think it's
Gallia.
yeah.
It's in Gallia. Okay,
Oh.
Insane heroic intervention. Here we go.
yeah. Okay.
And
Anyways,
fun
it
fact, it
it's a
has a
new
new
art.
art
Yeah,
as
it has
well.
That's
new
true.
art. It's better art in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, okay. So heroic intervention, make your creature indestructible and has proof.
Hmm.
Dark steel plate, you get make your commander try to make your commander indestructible. There's other green and red ways to make your commander indestructible. The reason you want to make him indestructible is because you want to trigger enrage several times. So with something like making him indestructible, a card like Warstorm Sturge or Pandemonium, which happen to do the same thing, except Pandemonium's a bit worse because it affects your opponent's creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So Warstorm Surge says whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to a target. If you have something like Parallel Lives, you make 2/5/4s whenever Rondis is dealt damage.
Yep.
So you find a way to deal Rondis damage, or you play a creature and you deal damage to Rondis. You make 2/5/4s. One of the 5/4s deals 5 damage to someone. The other 5/4 deals damage to Rondis.
Yep.
You make 2/5/4s again, and again, and
And
again,
again.
and again, and again, and again, and you just kind of burn the table out. Without the actual burning, I know I figured out a way to make infinite 5/4s. Well, you still have to make Rondis indestructible,
You can
which
have
is
an anger in the graveyard, or literally have any
yes,
enchantment that has
and just
haste.
There
swinging.
is a commander that brings anger, and I think it's his, if
It's
I'm not
probably
mistaken.
It should. I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, it
Let me go.
does.
I'm gonna put this in my site.
It
Let me
does. It
go. Give
does.
me a
It
second.
does.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
does bring anger
It should.
on the
It's a,
dragonic rage
it's a cute
commander.
little
So,
interaction. Yeah.
so whenever you roll one or more dice, that's basically flavor text.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
It's generally speaking, there's just not many, if any, proper decks where you can roll dice
Mhm.
or cards that you can roll dice and outplay.
Yeah.
Unless if you include like the unstable cards, because
Mm,
unstable brought a lot of roll dicing
but you don't need
cards.
to. I mean,
Yeah,
unless
I
you're
know that you
being
don't need to.
cute. Unless you're
Yeah,
being cute.
exactly.
Yeah.
Unless your play group lets you play roll dicing cards, then yes, unstable cards. I mean, because I if I'm not mistaken, in unstable there is I think it's an artifact that lets you re-roll the dice,
I
and
mean, we already
there's
have
another.
barbarian class that lets you roll two
True.
twice,
Hmm.
Oh, there
and
you go.
then you have currently legal ways like commander legal ways to play
Hmm.
to roll that more dice, but it's not really worth it. And though the one card I feel like is like a must have is Pyrohemia for this deck. So
Yep.
Pyrohemia reads it's a 2 red at the beginning. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, if there are no creatures on the battlefield, sacrifice Pyrohemia, and you can pay red to deal 1 damage to each creature and each player.
Hmm.
So you can play 3 red, deal 3 damage to everyone, 3 damage to a Brondis, make 3/5/4s. Next turn, do it again as long as you have the mana, and keep
Yep.
on doing that.
Okay.
You expedite your 5/4s really fast.
Yep.
That's why I really like him, because you'd be surprised that he sticks in the field and you have an engine. You just suddenly on your next turn you have an army of 5/4s ready to kill someone.
Hmm.
Okay, Surface of the Hidden Ways. I feel like you undervalue her, mostly because I know how she should play, because she
Okay.
plays my style of deck. You just slap on an Ophiomancer, you slap on a
Mm-hmm.
National's Altar, and every single turn in your upkeep, you make a snake, sacrifice a snake, venture.
Yeah, yeah.
In your upkeep, I venture. In your upkeep, I venture. You venture every single turn, try to trigger her as many times as possible. The reason
It's
I say
interesting
she's still
how
bad.
She's so
JP
bad because she's
puts
limited too.
No,
how
like
the most
She's limited to
interesting
once per
part
turn.
is the most interesting thing is that JP puts astronauts altar in anything.
Yeah, it's really fucking
it's
good.
my favorite card. Anyways, so it says once per turn. If it weren't once per turn, it'd be broken.
Oh yeah,
Let's
definitely.
be honest.
Yeah.
But the real thing I feel like makes her like once per turn is just balancing reasons. I'm fine with that. The real reason I don't like it is because she says when create undead, she reanimates from your graveyard. She should have just targeted any graveyard, just reanimate anything.
Sure.
That would have made her a lot better.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it makes sense.
You can expedite Tomb of Annihilation, finish it Tomb of Annihilation. Everyone has to sacrifice a creature, has to do stuff. Okay, I finished the dungeon. I take your creature.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. Gallia's just good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that she's top deck manipulation, so you stick in Sunset's Divine top, ponder, you preordain, brainstorm, all those cantrips that mess with the top. You reorganize. The real good thing about her is when you play the equipment, you just attach it,
Mm-hmm.
so you can ignore the equip cost for the most part.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't evaluate the cards the same way. So most of the time, I feel like equipments aren't worth it for most things. It's
Mhm.
mostly because people see, oh, you pay 2 mana to play it, but then you need to pay like 8 mana to equip it. That's a 10 mana that's a 10 mana investment.
Mhm.
And if then someone just kills your creature, you just paid mana for nothing. You did nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
so when it enters and attaching to something, now I can just consider the actual mana cost. So swords, something like Argentum armor becomes a 6 mana instead of being 12 mana.
Mhm.
And you dark steel plate and all that stuff. You're in the colors for drawing cards. You just
And for rampings, you have a bunch of
You
mana,
just
and you
play-
can probably make infinite mana very easily.
play
Yeah.
all the enchantresses, including SRAM. SRAM is going to draw you a lot of cards with it. Like you just play all the enchantresses, just draw a million cards, organize.
You
the
can
top,
use
and then just smack in.
you can go ahead and use that rings of
Brightheart?
Brighthearth?
Brighthearth with basalt monolith. You got
That's infinite colors.
infinite colorless
I
mana.
mean, yeah.
You know,
You could do that, but I don't feel like that's the deck. This is the deck for that type of combo.
But you can
Uh,
do it because you
yeah,
just need
exactly.
colorless mana, though.
Yeah, no,
Ex-
but she cares about auras too, and most of the enchantresses care about enchantments.
See, but the thing, okay, but when you but the aura you need color mana for it. But if you do strictly like an equipment one,
exacto.
Well, why
If
would
you
you
do
if you
a
can
full
just include the
equipment
enchantresses
commander, it
though?
will be good.
The enchantresses just help so much speed up this type of deck. You just draw through your deck.
True.
Like you can't, you're like it's not even only cantripping. You gain extra cards by playing one.
Yeah,
Like
you're right.
enchantresses get crazy really fast,
Mhm.
especially like with the new ones. There's I'm pretty sure there's a billion in these colors,
Yeah.
and now
These are the
Prosper.
colors.
So Prosper. He's a 1 mana. He's a 4 mana. It's like he's 1/4 Death Touch. That's actually relevant. I feel you can block with him, and he's like a little rattlesnake. Nobody wants to
Mhm.
attack you because you're just gonna it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's actually quite relevant, and I'm kind of surprised. Then you get Orengo didn't mention it.
give
I
him
mean,
first strike and make people cry.
I generally don't attack.
You're not attacking. You're blocking.
No.
Don't attack me.
I generally my
but he,
decks don't
yeah,
attack.
exactly. He doesn't
That's-
attack.
I'm just gonna
So-
win. It
Okay,
doesn't
yeah,
affect
true,
me.
true,
I
true.
don't care.
True. But yeah, Prosper. The actual deck,
Mhm.
like talking about the actual decks, Brondis is great. Gallia is great. Gallia is broken in the hearts that like Gallia is by far the best value.
Yes, it is by a lot.
Brondis is really really good.
Yes.
Sephiroth is just good stuff and not even
Mhm.
expensive good stuff. It's just general good stuff.
Mhm.
Prosper's kind of bad.
Yep.
But Prosper himself, like the
It's
actual
really good.
commander, is the best one.
Agree.
Because that list isn't it's really not that good. Like Brondis and Zagalia by far the best. Brondis second close. Sephiroth because it's good stuff. It just has it brings Baleful Strix, Solemn Simulacrum, Hostage Taker. It brings Phantasmal image, Sun Time Karmic Guide.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cards I would play just naturally in my decks.
Mhm.
Even brings a reassembling skeleton.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's-
Gallia has definitely the most.
Gallia
value.
has the
It's
best value.
Insane
But,
the value that it has.
But
The great thing about this is, like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's the fact of the lands. The thing that the mana fixing in each of these commanders are really good. Like, I don't remember which one was it. I think it's either Gallia or Saffris. It even has the old school tapped fetch lands, grassland and flood plain. The ones that enter tap, you have to untap like that. You can use it to fetch for an island or a plane. It's really interesting how Wizard of the Coast is like they were like, okay, you know what? Let's just give them a little bit more value for their buck in these commanders.
yeah,
Hmm.
You know, it's not like the previous commanders that the ones from Kaldheim. Kaldheim was it? Yeah, for Kaldheim. Uh
Yeah.
in between both of them, the one that you would have gotten more value in terms of like if you wanted to start commander is the elves one, because it brings you literally all the lords and a new lord.
Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing that you're missing is
The really expensive
the
ones.
elves champion. Elvish
Yeah,
champion.
Elvis Champion,
Elvish champion.
the one that gets
Hmm.
+1/+1 in Forest Walk.
Yep.
Exactly. Like that's the only one that you're missing, and then you
I
just
think
put
I think
in.
you're missing another one, but it was like a less important one.
Yeah, the other one would be it's the other one that creates mana. Uh Tatiana? Tatiana, I think it's called.
Adam,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like Priest of Titania.
yeah, Priest of Titania does
Remember.
not it does not come in the commander.
Okay.
This one comes with the elf from Origins. It comes with with the other lord, the one that
Elvis Champion, no,
Elvish
Elvish Archdruid,
Archdruid.
Archdruid.
It comes with the new
Uh,
one that gives you 3 mana, and it
the,
comes with the one that creates tokens.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know that it's really interesting that in these commanders, obviously, if you're a new player, uh you can buy any to start off. But in regards to us, that we know what we want to do, like, oh, or either I'm missing cards, or I want to have a new commander, but I'm looking for a specific card in the deck. Like, let's say heroic intervention. It's a $9 card, but still, you don't want. Sometimes you don't want it. You want your, how you call it, the value out of what you're paying. So,
Gallia is
like,
value. Gallia
Yeah.
exactly.
it's just value. It's so
No,
many
yeah,
good
but
cards.
let's put it that what I'm trying to say is that, let's say that you're looking for heroic intervention. You don't want to waste the $9, but hey, you want to have one of the new commanders. You have the heroic intervention and the commander as well. You know, it's a win-win situation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So
but I really do like them. They look really hella fun in terms of like. I really do want to see if we get to play with people that have built commanders around these.
I want to see Prosper in
Yeah,
action.
I want to see
A good
Prosper. Yeah.
Prosper because I was looking for like at least two cards for each deck, and I mentioned a bunch for Brondis, a bunch for Gallia, and like a few for Saffris. But Prosper, like one of the most broken cards in recent Commander history, is literally in red, is Jessica's Will.
Yeah.
I realize how strong that card is. With this commander,
Jessica
Jessica's Will
Jessica's Will is
reads
that card
two in a
that
red.
people are sleeping on it.
Yes, two in a red. Choose one. If you control, it's a sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast the spell, you may choose both. Add red mana for each card in target opponent's hand, and then exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So it's
Hmm.
3 mana, draw 3, add mana in red.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The other card is this came out in the Strixhaven. Is it Commander? The Rousing Refrain. So it's one of those suspend cards. It's add a red mana for each card in target opponent's hand until end of turn. You don't lose that mana. Exile Rousing Refrain with 3 time counters on it. So you
Hmm.
keep on doing it, and you're cast since you're suspending and you cast it from exile. you keep adding mana. But this is a lot of mana really, really fast.
Okay,
So you can be very explosive. Like you play this on
JP,
suspend three for one in a red.
so
You do this on turn three. You play your commander on turn. You do this on turn two. You play your
Mm,
commander on turn four. On turn five, you get this for free. Make a treasure token about a bunch of mana go off.
yeah.
so JP, you made somebody. He's like, I remember JP used that against me once. I played
Oh,
Krenko.
oh,
Just
you're a
a really
horrible,
good card.
horrible human.
I think if people go to our commander nights, they would say that each one of us is a horrible human.
That's true.
Hey, I don't make you suffer that much.
You,
No.
you liar.
You liar. You're like, oh, it's turn two. I cast my commander.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
And
not
we're
doing
all like,
anything.
and then we're like,
For being
what?
fair, my commander, so most of my commanders is like 3 mana, 4 mana. It's not,
Hmm. Yeah.
I
Oh,
could turn one Ayara with Dark Ritual.
well, I also play Narset, so we are all bad.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, it's fair. It's fair. I think we all have that one commander that is annoying as heck.
True.
Like right now, I'm building the Tazri deck commander. I'm still sitting down, like I told Orengo in the afternoon. Like I'm still like researching how to combine the venture mechanic with the party mechanic because I want to have a little bit of both in the commander. Uh, do 2-4 because the theme is D&D, but I want to make it work. That's the whole thing.
Mhm.
Um, I had to proxy the Squirrel Commander because god dang, them cards are super expensive.
Mostly
So
because people just hyped it up way too
yeah,
much.
but at least the cards that are doable in terms of pricing, I will buy them little by little. But I played with the commander is super fun. I played versus with our friend Carlos, and I killed them with a bunch of squirrels. It was so satisfying.
My God.
Yes, the
You
only thing
monster.
that I'm still like trying to get used to is how to stack the multiplying the tokens because you have to know how to stack because of the math with Chatterfang in game.
You just
So
don't. You just don't do that.
you do that.
You just stop. You just stop it. You just stop
Come
playing.
on.
Just stop playing. Cancer.
You just lay down, you play
Yeah.
your deck, you draw
Yeah.
your 7 cards,
Yeah.
you say I'm playing Chatterfang in general, and then you just scoop up because nobody.
Mhm. It's like, oh, that was a fun game.
That was a
It
fun
was a fun
game.
game. It was a fun game.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm really happy because this set actually brings a lot of promise in all different formats. For standard is making a lot of noise. In the meta game right now, mono green mid range is number one, and then sadly but true, mono red still in the top five. It's number two right now in the metagame for standard. There is this
Sultai Control appears like
exactly
should be more.
Sultai control. That's what that's
Mono greens.
Maybe Sultai Control is probably played more, but Mono Red just is better.
Yeah.
Because right now in the metagame, just looking at MTG Goldfish,
yeah.
is like the numbers are a bit off. But yeah, basically, Mono Green Sultai Control and Mono Red aggro.
No, yeah. It's again this set. I like this set because it looks a lot of fun. I do like the fact that we did get like the borderless and then we got the D&D like showcase cards and then we got those special D&D book style. I like the fact that those cards are only like 6 cards and they're not a bunch. You know that they didn't the Wizard of the Coast did not make a lot of those showcase cards because you know it would be in a pain, but at least they're doable to get. I want to get my playset of Evolving Wilds because they look beautiful. I do follow a lot of proxy card creators, and there's a lot of them that had already created Demonic Tutor, Sylvan Library,
In that same art style.
yeah, in that same art style, and it looks amazing, and I've
Up,
seen them foil, and they look great.
I'd probably just stick that same aerosol for the lands, not maybe all the other cards, but I feel like it would work out anyways.
You know what I would have preferred that not well I'm not gonna say preferred, let me change. So you know what I would have liked, you know that each land, basic land, has like a text, like a
Yeah,
little
little
lore.
story. Yeah, little
Yeah,
story.
I would have liked to see that in full art as well. You know,
But
have
how
the
are you gonna
land in
write it?
full. You put, instead of having I wish I had a card with me. Okay, so here you go. So you know that we have this little box, right? So you
Yep.
eliminate the box and just put the wording in, like if it was transparent.
Like just over it and on the
Exactly,
floor.
just the
Yeah.
text over it, like if it was over it and that's it. You know, you have the full card, full art, no border, just says swamp, like a little small border on the top, or how do you call it, heading. You put a heading on the top, and then the lore on the bottom, with no board, with no casing or nothing. It's just the lettering, like, oh, land, basic land, and then the lore, and that's it.
To be
It
honest,
would have been, nice, have that little treatment.
I actually like it how it is.
Okay.
There's a bunch of like because it's just different.
Yeah.
We've been doing in just recent times we've gotten full art snow covered, we have got full art basic lands, and like the novelty of them is still there because they're beautiful. The art is great, but this just having the normal thing, but instead of just being an island that has a proper like little story towards
Mm-hmm.
each card, I actually do kind of like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
You know, but again, I really do like this set. So guys, okay, so before we say our goodbyes, I'm gonna start with Orengo. How do you wait, give me a second. How much do you rate this set in a whole, with the commanders, out as well?
From a scale.
Between 0 out of 10 goblins.
Okay.
A goblin and a
four
half.
four goblins. I'm being generous. I think. I feel like the set overall, because I play commander. That's the thing I play the most. So for
We've made
me,
it clear in one
yeah,
show. I haven't done the clip yet, but I already have it in Premiere. I have
yeah.
it already with the little tabs. We bring a broad statement in that clip. We'll put it
Yeah.
during the week.
So since I play commander, these cards, most of them, the majority of them, have no effect on me, except a couple that I'm gonna buy when the set officially releases. But I feel generally it's a fun set. It's cool. It'll be impactful in 2022. But as it stands, because of Throne Drain, because of Theros, it's not as powerful. It's not as impactful. There's a lot of gimmicky stuff that I don't think is going to be used, even when stuff rotates out. So I give it a 4 out of 10 goblins. The commanders don't excite me. They're cool, but I didn't rush to buy any of them. Osgir excited me because Osgir was
Seriously.
different. And the Simic one excited me because it was like a broken ass Simic commander. So that's exciting. These, the only, it's not even broken. It's just really good. Is the Rakdos one.
It
And that's
can be
kind of it.
broken if you
It
really
can be broken,
if
but
there's probably someone just made a whole list. Okay, you do this cards, and then you just basically you start casting everything for
true.
free, making mana, and then just keep on casting stuff. There's probably someone who
But I feel like there's better
figured it out.
red commanders. You know what I'm like? Better Rakdos commanders. I
Uh,
feel like there is.
there's not many.
Osgir is kind of like on a class of its own. That's why he's really good. And the
Most
Simic
but
one,
most Rakdos commanders are just smacking face.
true.
This was
Mm-hmm.
very controlling and drawing cards.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But then, like
This
for
one said
example,
this deck would draw. I feel like Prosper wants to draw a lot of cards.
yeah, it does, and you can make it happen with red. I mean, Osgir is in a class of its own. That's why I like it a lot. And the Simic one if you care about tokens, it's like the best interpretation of Simic for that. Like it's on a class of its own how good that is.
Just triple your tokens, quadruple your tokens.
Yeah, it's freaking insane. So in terms of the commanders and stuff like that, I kind of like the Strixhaven's ones, even though I think that set was trash. It was like full on trash, so bad. Even this D&D set has the creature lands, which I at least appreciate. So at least it has that going on. But Strixhaven for me was complete trash. It has nothing interesting there. So 4 out of 10 goblins.
Okay, so before I go with JP, so Jose Angel Pagan is asking us a question. When are you guys going to bring more Commander gameplay content? I enjoy the salt of your play group.
I mean, we can set it up maybe next week or something.
Yeah, we can set it up
Yeah.
next week. Like I mentioned, I think in the mid and almost very halfway show of the programming, I did mention that we are going to meet up on Wednesday to properly set everything in stone on what we're going to do future content, and we're going to be bringing you guys more Commander content. And we're figuring out ways on how to play Commander as well. Due to that, we do not have all the cards, so we're trying to find other ways to play
Yeah.
Commander and just enjoy the game as well. So, JP, tell me, in overall, from 0 to 10 goblins, how do you review this set?
I'm gonna say 5 3/4 of a goblin. Just a goblin missing a leg. It's just
Okay.
5 and a goblin missing a leg.
I can see that happening. I can
He's
see
been
that.
through some shit.
Yeah.
We have to do art. We have to do art.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to give it a 6. I really do want to give it a 6.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's mostly because the flavor is there. The flavor
Okay.
is there. This is like it's an iconic set for an iconic game.
Yes.
The reason I'm giving it, I'm giving it a 6. I'm just giving it.
He
A
has
6.
he has the foot now.
He,
Okay, cool.
he grew
He
grew
has
his
the
leg
foot
back.
again.
Yeah,
He goes like back. Good.
I'm giving it a 6. It's impacted standard more than I thought it would.
Okay.
At least from what I've seen currently through this past week. So it's impacted standard a lot more than what I feel like Kaldheim did, a lot more than what I feel Strixhaven did, and a lot more than the Ikoria.
Yeah.
Like Eldraine is still, of course,
It's
a
the big
problem.
honcho.
It's the big
It's the main honcho.
but this is like every single deck I've seen at least has 1 or 2 cards from the set,
Mhm.
and that's quite impactful. Like if
Actually,
that.
if you see the mono green mid range, it has a lot
Yeah,
of the.
I
Of
mean,
this,
we
of this
talked
set.
about the wolf, the 2 mana 3/3. That
Really
if you have
powerful.
2 of them, you just attack with both and draw 2 cards. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But like a lot of these good cards, and I feel like it's for being what would be in the place of a core set, you're getting this. Its power level is quite high in comparison to a core set, and it's quite impactful. Core sets generally bring like evergreen cards, which is what we should have needed for Field of Ruin, but
Yep.
it's still very very good. I'm not giving it a 7 because there's nothing that just wows me. The commanders were good. Like I enjoy the concept of that Brandis deck, and Prosper seems like hella fun. But Gallia's just banned. It's like okay, I'm doing banned stuff, and the Esper one is disappointing.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the commanders, because of the commanders, the power level isn't like it's high, it's good, but not that high,
Yeah.
and it's quite impactful. I'm giving it a 6. I feel like that's a decent rating.
Okay. So at least I in the set and with the commanders, I would give it 5 little goblins. Again, the set is really flavorful. I really do like the mechanic. I would have liked to see at least 1 or 2 cards that brought the party mechanic, just for fun. Just to maintain that mechanic alive. That's why I would have liked to see at least. I would have loved to see one or two cards with that mechanic, just to keep the Zendikar Rising mechanic
Relevant.
relevant.
Yep.
Um, in theory, it has it, but still, it's not there because, like I explained to Orengo, you have to study the cards before you say, "I want that and this and this and this" in the Tazri Commander, because you
Mhm.
need to pick the correct creature types, because you have dragon knights, you have elf rogues, you have wizard zombies, you have a little bit of everything, so you want to make sure that you do have the complete party
Mhm.
for certain mechanics when you want to build this type of commander. uh but still, another thing that I would have preferred to see more, the fact that there's only 3 dungeons, and I would have liked to see more dungeons.
Yep.
I hope that in the future, we do get. I don't know. I really do not want to say this, but probably it might happen. We might get a secret layer that it's only dungeons, and it might happen.
There's a
But
little tidbit to this. I don't know who it was, one of the lead designers of the set or whatever, or it was talking about parasitic design, but they did mention that if ever, they reintroduce dungeons, they're going to be tied to the set. So you're not going to be able to use dungeons from another set if they reintroduce dungeons. You won't be able to use
mhm.
them,
See,
which I think is stupid.
exactly
Stupid.
that's
So
stupid.
stupid.
Because
But
the
in modern or any
Okay.
other for eternal format, if they bring broken ones, then maybe something can come out of that.
I hope it'd be cool
I
if they
hope,
do
I
put
hope,
more dungeons eventually.
yeah, I hope that they do add more dungeons and they can work all in general. Like, they can put a rule. Like, let's say that they get to do 10 dungeons and you can only have three.
Yeah,
Like,
easy.
in selective for yourself, you can
Hmm.
only have three in the game that you're playing. But because I would have really liked to see more dungeons, due to the fact that Dungeons and Dragons has such a big lore. You know, we're talking about a game that was in, I think it was 1970 something, that started, or earlier. I don't know. You
Yep.
know, uh, but that's that. I give it 5 goblins, 5 little goblins. And before we say our goodbyes, Gunny Lim says Commander is 50% style for me.
Oh,
Okay. I would say something about that. Just if you have a favorite commander, bling it out. Hey, do like Cassius Marsh. Every
Ooh, just
foil.
every single. Oh, but in the Puerto Rico humidity, just
oh yeah,
imagine that every single card is foil, and
Pringled.
you just have a
Pringled.
Pringle deck. It's just one on
It's
top
like,
of the other.
hey guys, brought my deck today.
You bring.
That's why I always recommend, if you're going to foil out your commander, keep it in your deck box. Never leave it outside.
Never use it. Just keep it there
Ex-
forever. You know what? Never play
It's for
exactly.
commander
show.
with
It's
it.
for
It's for
show.
show. It's for
It's for
show.
show.
It's for show. Yes.
That's why we should actually make a topic about that. Why do we bling out our commanders, or look for like proxy cards to like make it look cooler? That would be a good topic. um
Yeah.
but yeah, like, again, this set is really fun. I played it already in draft, in
Mhm.
arena. I'm still missing to play it in the sealed format. I want to see how sealed goes. uh but in draft is really fun. It's really interesting on how you pick the cards. um but I would say, again, this set is really fun. I hope it keeps doing the impact that it's doing to bring more players to the game, or to Commander, because I know that Commander is becoming one of the most playable or played formats right now in Magic. But hey, it is what it is, guys. So let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. JP, where can they find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast, and hopefully, in a lot more content we'll be making further on in the future.
Awesome. So, Orengo, where can they find you?
You can find me here at Cardboard Cave. You can find me at the Movie Guy Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we talk about movie stuff. You can also find me in my podcast, Cinemas Podcast, where I go very in depth in specific movies that I want to talk about. Talk about themes, metaphors, etc.
Artsy
Uh,
stuff.
Artsy stuff, artsy pinkies up, my friends. You can also find me at 15 in Richport, which I collaborate with them in the podcast of Cine Nerds, where we also kind of discuss sometimes artsy films, sometimes not so artsy films. We're gonna be discussing next week the movie Starship Troopers and the movie The Holy Grail, which are
Like
amazing.
Monty Python?
Yes, Monty
Ooh.
Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great freaking film. So we're gonna be discussing those two. Um, and you can also find me at Subtitles Required with John. We're gonna be filming our next episode very soon, recording our next episode very soon, and it's gonna be about the film Burning, which is one of the actors is Steven Yeun, which you have seen in The Walking Dead, being bashed in the head and killed, and you've seen him in Minari being like a sad boy. It's gonna be a fun podcast, I'm pretty sure. But beyond that, you can Google me. You can Google my name. I make movies. I don't have my cup. It's over there. I forgot to put it on my table. But you can Google me. I make movies.
And then, guys, you guys can find me and all my social media as Big Boss 117 PR. I do my streams every Wednesday. I am playing currently right now Diablo 3 with the Necromancer. So, technically speaking, we can say that I am playing Dungeons and Dragons in a different world. Uh, but the other thing is, you can find me in the Movie Guy podcast as well. Like Orengo said. But this next Monday, I will have my new episode live of Up Up Left Right, finishing off all the last three movies of Resident Evil. That where I do is I just go ahead and talk about the movie, what's good, what's bad, and what did work and what did not work in this film. That most of it is that it did not work, and
They're
how
all
they
horrible masterpieces.
exactly,
I
and
like that.
how they had to
They're,
retcon so many
they're so
things
bad
on the
they're
final
good.
film. Yeah, and then as well, subtitles required. That is the show that is Orengo and Mines that we talk about foreign films. Our next episode will be recorded this week, and we're going to be talking about Burning. Steven Yeun comes out in that episode, and I got a fun fact for you, Orengo. He comes out in one episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, he does.
Yes, only one episode. He was I think the
Ah,
second roommate that Sheldon has.
shoot. I'm gonna have to find that
Yeah,
episode. I must have been a blink and I missed it because I don't remember that.
literally, I saw him and I'm like, nah, it can't be. I went to IMDb. I'm like, oh my god, it is.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, and then here, guys, here at the Cardboard Cave, like JP mentioned, we're gonna be working on more content for you guys. Oh, wait! I got something to say. You can find me in TikTok as well.
Ooh, you're doing
I,
TikTok now. You're
I'm
with the
doing
kids.
TikTok. I'm joining the kids. I'm doing MTG TikToks. I found I have only three right now. It has been fun. It's an experience. I'm still getting used to the whole editing thing on the phone.
Mhm.
It's horrible,
Yeah.
horrible software, but hey, it is what it is. But it's
Mm,
super fun. A lot of people have commented in some of them, and I have made conversations with them as well, talking about Magic the Gathering. So
that's
that's one
cool.
of the pluses that I found with trying TikTok. It's really interesting. I never thought that I was gonna join the TikTok club.
Nice.
So nothing, guys. Let me look for the brand. Here we go. So nothing, guys. I hope you guys everybody enjoyed tonight's show. It was really fun. It was really good. And we will see you next Friday. During the week, we'll be announcing what we will be talking about this next Friday. And probably news about future content that we're going to be making. But I want you guys to just go ahead, and here is a message from our that amazing sponsor of ours.
Not
So
being
see you guys in the next one. Hey geeks, do you love comics, collectibles, and TCG? Well, here at Cardboard Cave, we have the place for you. Pass by Kapitan Granuja Comics and Games and find all your favorite geeky items there. Look for them at Facebook or Instagram or call them at 787-659-7003. A store blessed by Nicole Bolas.